One thing I learned from looking at words carefully is that you can, in some cases, demystify the meaning of certain words and spark a conversation about how often concepts that we take for granted, even within the concepts themselves, there can be tension between binary forces. So, for example, binary forces, what I mean by that is just simply like black and white, wet and dry, life and death. So, for example, you can put pressure on some of those binary forces just by looking at some common words that we use all the time. So, for example, take the word community. So if you do a simple etymological deconstruction of this word, you can see that the prefix co, which we get a bunch of words in English that have co as a prefix, right? Meaning with or together, right? And what are some other words that we get that form words from that prefix? Cooperate, or coexist. So to cooperate is to work with someone or to work together. To coexist is for something to exist at the same time with something else, right? So the prefix co means with or together. And then you have, which basically can form the central root of this word, is muni, which can mean, in some cases, city, like we have the word municipal, but that's actually misleading because the root muni comes from the word for a wall. It's actually military in origin. So like, for example, back in the day, towns and cities were built in a circular formation. So you'd have the center, and then you'd have rows that radiate out. Sorry for my horrible picture. And then you have gates and so on, the walls of the city. So the municipality, right, or the municipal center was guarded and protected. So muni. So we get words like munitions. Munitions are simply like the storehouse of weapons, like an arsenal that an army would use, right? So you're like, oh, within this word, you have this militarized meaning, or this military concept, muni. So within the word community, even though it's espousing this idea of working together, living together, within it, it has this other sense of protection, right? Or within, but with protection, you're protecting yourself from that which exists outside. So from an invader or something like that. So so to form community, you also have to create boundaries, right? So community, even though it has this notion of togetherness and being together, it also at the same time is promoting this idea of expulsion or keeping people out, right? So to circle back to this idea of, like, if you deconstruct it, right, you're basically dealing with this binary of who is outside versus who is inside, right? So the question could be, what community do we mean? And who belongs to community and who doesn't?